I reached Master Ball rank in Pokemon Pocket with above a 60% win rate, and I'm going to show you guys all the best non-EX free-to-play friendly decks to use to climb right now. The first deck we're going to go over is Scarzone. This utilizes 2 Skarmorys, 2 Magnemites, 2 Magnetones, and 2 Magnezones. Now, if you're not familiar with the Magnezone lineup, this thing is one of the best free-to-play evolution lines in the game. It's super competitive, placing both in Master Ball and high ranking in tournaments. We're also going to use 1 X-Speed, 2 Pokeballs, 2 Capes, 2 Rocky Helmets, which is super important. In order for this to pilot as consistently as possible, you need to have 4 tools in your deck. That's mandatory. We're also using 2 Professors, 1 Sabrina, 1 Cyrus, and 1 Red. You could also instead exchange the Red for a Giovanni. That would work as well. But the one thing that you absolutely have to have in this deck is the 4 tools for the most consistency possible. Now, just so you guys are aware, after I explain each deck list, I'm going to cut into some gameplay. So if you want to skip to another deck, make sure to check the timestamps below. All right, going first. Looks like they got a water deck. I'm always a little scared of water decks, you know, Misty and everything, right? But let's do it. We got a decent hand, Professors and tools. It's not bad. Could be better. Having like a Magnemite in hand too would be really awesome, but it's okay. We might get there with Professors. Opponent's taking their time. Okay. This might be like a Yanmega deck using Iridas to heal. Lucky for them, I'm going first. Otherwise, this would be a really good for them. Let's get Pokeball so we can get Magnemite. So we'll use Pokeball before Professors. And then we'll go Professors because I wanted to have a basic first. Okay. Not bad. Let's pull our other Pokeball here. So we get 2 Magnemites. Okay, not bad. I'm hesitant to play these because if he Sabrina's us, then that's going to be extremely frustrating. So instead what I'm going to do is I'm just going to Rocky Helm here. And I'm going to pass turn. I don't have Magnetons in hand, so I'm not guaranteed to be able to evolve the next turn anyway. If I top deck a Magneton, well, then yes, it would have been better to play the Magnemite now, potentially, but I'd rather apply the early pressure, the guaranteed early pressure by not being Sabrina, and being able to smack with Skarmory this next turn. Because if he doesn't have an answer here, I win the game. He needs to play another Pokemon, or it's our game. So I think our opponent kind of concedes right there. But I do think that this game is a great example of exactly what Skarmory Magnezone can do, right? Because this is a deck where, you know, maybe you're facing something like Yanma, or maybe you're facing something like, what's the little fish? Magikarp, right? And then if they don't have a second Pokemon, or maybe even it's Manaphy, right? You can get turn 1 wins essentially with this deck because of the power that Skarmory brings so quickly, right? So this deck I find to be one of the best free-to-play decks that you can currently use. For our second deck, we're going to go over Rampardos. This deck utilizes 2 Rilus, 2 Lucarios, 2 Sudowoodos, and 2 of the entire evolution line of Rampardos, which is going to be 2 Skull Fossils, 2 Cranidos, and 2 Rampardos. This deck is extremely competitive, just like the one previously, placing highly in Master Ball ranks and in tournaments. We're also going to be using 2 Pokeballs, 1 Communication, 2 Professors, 1 Sabrina, 1 Cyrus, and really importantly, 1 Iona. The Iona is going to be really key here because fossil decks are decks in which you cannot tutor and specifically search for fossils. So using Iona to make sure that you don't brick is really important here. Okay, looks like we're going second against a grass deck. Okay, I wonder if this will be Meowscarada. We have Riolu to lead, which isn't ideal, but also not the worst either. Okay, yeah, definitely Meowscarada, which is a good matchup. All these free-to-play, non-EX related decks fare pretty well into the Meowscarada matchup, considering Meowscarada can't activate, you know, its extra layer of damage since we're not using EX Pokemon. I'd really like to get Lucario here. Let's go ahead and Pokeball. Get our other Riolu. And then let's Professors. Try to pull Lucario if we can. Oh, we got Sudowoodo, which is also great. Not really in this matchup, but will still be nice. I could Communications here. but I think we'll wait till next turn to do it. I think we'll hold the Sudowoodo in hand because I don't need to use, most likely they're not running EX. It's possible this is an Executor or Beedrill version of Meowscarada, but I'd say that's not as popular lately. So we'll wait and see. If it is, we can put Sudowoodo in. We can swap into that. It'll be no big deal. Okay. I'm assuming he's got the Meowscarada line in hand. We could also Iona next turn if we don't have the things that we need. Okay, we have Rampardos. I think what we do here is we just Iona. This just helps with like terrible hands so that you don't brick with this deck. Because unfortunately there is no way to search for fossils, but with things like Iona, you can get there. So Iona is a really pivotal part in this deck if you want it to be a little bit more consistent. So we'll go ahead and put a Skull Fossil down. So what we could do here is we can Pokeball into a Sudowoodo, right? Then we can take that Sudowoodo and we can Communications in attempts to get a Cranidos or a Lucario. Ideally a Lucario here, I think, but Cranidos would be great too. Okay, so we got Cranidos. That's cool. We're not swinging for crazy damage this turn. No big deal. We'll go ahead, put an energy on Riolu here, and we'll jab for 20. The other important thing to note about these competitive non-EX free-to-play decks is that unlike, you know, the whale decks, as some people call them, you know, ones with EXs, things like that, right? When you kill an EX, they get 2 points. When you kill a non-EX, they get 1 point. So they have to kill 3 Pokemon, right? Rather than 2. Let's see here. So we have Cranidos in hand. Cranidos is weak to grass, so Meowscarada would do 80 to Cranidos here. But we could still rotate into it rather than our Riolu. So we're going to do that. We're going to put Skull Fossil to the front and go into our Cranidos here. We're going to Professors first, though. Okay, we have a Sudowoodo. That's good. All right, we'll hit our Cranidos. So yeah, the only way he'd be able to kill us is if he has a Giovanni, which I would say is pretty unlikely. We'll also put a Sudowoodo out there in case he hits us with like a Sabrina. Then we'll have this ready. Go ahead, hit that Meowscarada for 50. I do imagine he has Executor, which is something we got to be very wary of, actually. Okay. Swings for 80. Okay, we got our Lucario. That's great. We're absolutely going to play it. It gets our damage to 70. Now, the thing is, if we play this, it's going to kill itself. Right? Let's see here. How much health did this have? This had 90. So this lost 80 HP. So 80 HP. No, we'll actually stay alive. So the play is definitely to play Rampardos. The problem is that Execute will then come in and clean us up, which is definitely not ideal, but I don't really think we have a choice here. What we probably do is we'll actually put an energy on Sudowoodo. I'll explain why after. We'll go ahead and Head Smash here. Yeah, I think the biggest problem we're going to run into here is if he has Executor. If he has Executor, we may have difficulties, but we'll see. If he doesn't, we should be okay. If he just swings for 20. Okay, we should be okay. We're We're looking good. We're looking good. Now, I had put an energy on Sudowoodo rather than Lucario because both of them have a retreat cost of 2, so it gives me more flexibility this coming turn. If I decide I want to play this, you know, retreat into this. But we're going to go with Lucario here because we can one-shot this execute. Okay, another Sudowoodo. Not really what we need, but it's cool. It's not a big deal. Go ahead, get rid of execute. And then we've put our opponent in a position where he really has to answer right here. Otherwise, I win the game. I'm assuming he doesn't have the evolution because he would have done it the turn prior. So he's going to have to top deck it here. I'm assuming we win unless he gets it. Let's wait and see. Oh, that could change things. Whew. We're good. We're good. All right. That probably seals the deal right there. Yep. There we go. Even into what might be considered a bad matchup due to, you know, elemental weaknesses is still really powerful for us. Again, when you're fighting a deck like Meowscarada, which is really popular in the metagame and also another good free-to-play deck, because we're not using EXs, we have that advantage. The third deck we're going to be covering is Meowscarada. Similar to one of our other decks, this uses the entire Magnezone line. However, we are using a different Magnemite. The Magnemite in here uses colorless energy, giving you the ability to potentially attack with it on turn 1 if that's something you draw in your hand. Otherwise, this uses 2 Sprigados, 2 Florgados, and 2 Meowscaradas. Meowscarada is amazing in the metagame against a variety of decks. Your only bad matchups would actually be a lot of the decks that we're covering here, which are non-EX free-to-play friendly decks. We're also using 2 Pokeballs, 1 Cape, 2 Professors, 1 Sabrina, 1 Cyrus, and 1 Red. Again, like one of the other decks, you can change out Red for Giovanni or any other trainer that you prefer. It'll still work great, but Red will give you that extra damage with your Meowscarada or your Magnezone to one-shot potential threats that are in the metagame. Okay, looks like we're going second against a fire deck. Now, that would be a bad matchup for us, so it's going to be interesting to see how this goes. What are they playing? Okay, it's probably the Zard. Good news is we're going second, and I think that's good here. I want to cry for help immediately before he can start popping off like Inferno dances and stuff, right? I'm actually really glad too he didn't lead with like Charmander, because that could be threatening to our cat. Double Moltres, okay. That's not bad. That's not bad. We'll definitely take that. We'll go Pokeball here. We're gonna play out both of our Pokeballs before we cry for help. Thin our deck. And then this should get us Magnemite. There we go. Looking really good there. We'll go ahead and play both those out. And we'll get up here and we'll cry for help. Hopefully we get our Florgato. Perfect. All right, looking really good. Looking really good. Now, good news is I would say that most Charizard Moltres decks are not running Mars or Red card. So with that said, we can probably cry for help again to get ourselves some more grass Pokemon that we need. We'll probably sacrifice our Sprigato that's in the front and work on evolving our Sprigato in the back. Oh, we actually top deck Meowscarada. That changes everything. What we can now do is we can actually start applying pressure to kill Moltres. That really changes the situation here. We can go in now. If he swings, that'd be if maybe he has Dawn and he puts an energy, right, and then he swings for 70. That'll be the weakness, so he'll hit for 90. So we're gonna go ahead and cape, right, so we can avoid that, and then swing and kill the Moltres the next turn. So let's keep that in mind. Go ahead and hit for 40. And then next turn we'll be able to kill that Moltres. Hopefully we top deck Magneton. That would be really good for us. Hits a Sabrina. Doesn't really matter, to be honest. We'll just fall back into Sprigato. The reason it doesn't matter is because Meowscarada only takes 2 energy anyway. So we're just going to put an energy on our Sprigato, rotate back into Florgato, evolve, and swing. All right. So that Moltres is pumped and ready to start swinging. We really need Magnetine. That is good. I'm definitely happy with this for sure. He still can't kill our Meowscarada, so we're still gonna go with the initial plan, just to hit the rotate into Meowscarada. We'll then evolve too. Oh, he already sees the vision. He knows, yeah. I don't think our opponent was going to be able to win there. So as you can see, even due to an elemental weakness matchup, we're still able to take the win because Meowscarada is just so good against a lot of the metagame and just EX Pokemon in general, right? It's basically the beefed up Pseudo-Wudo. Our fourth deck in the list is a deck that was once meta upon a time ago, and that is Blaine deck. This utilizes 2 Vulpix, 2 Ponytas, 2 Ninetales, 2 Rapidash in combination with the trainer Blaine, which is going to boost the damage of these Pokemon. We also use 1 potion, 2 Pokeballs, 1 communication, 1 cape, 1 Rocky Helmet, 2 professors, 2 Blaines, 1 Sabrina, and 1 Cyrus. All right, going first against a fire deck. Interesting. Wouldn't it be crazy if this was a mirror match? We've got a pretty good hand. I mean, we've got Ponyta into Rapidash with a Blaine in hand to start, which is amazing. Two Pokeballs as well. We can start to thin our deck and get our evolutions ready. We're looking really good right now. I'm half tempted to Rocky Helmet our Ponyta here. I think we will, because this will force our opponent into 2 scenarios. Either one, they run into the Rocky Helm and then we can kill it without using Blaine, or they Sabrina us and we burn an important card from their end. So we'll go ahead and end turn with that. Hits a Professor, so no worries on the Sabrina. The question is, will he swing? This is an interesting deck. Not what I expected. Really expected Charmander, Moltres, but he's running something different. All right. I love to see new metas. Okay, hits the retreat. All right, so here we go into the Rapidash. Our Rapidash hits for 40. However, with Blaine, we can boost that up another 30, right? We can go ahead and hit like a truck here. Now, the total damage we're going to need is we're going to need to hit for the 40 and the 70 to get the kill here. So what we'll do is we'll actually just first hit for 40. We're going to save the Blaines in hand because I don't need to use it yet. I want to use the Blaine once it's going to be lethal, which this will give us the exact amount we need to do that. So let's go ahead and wait. Okay, he still can't swing. And he put an energy onto Heatran, so that's going to give us kind of a free turn, in a sense. Hits us with a Sabrina. Okay. Okay. We'll just retreat into our Ponyta here. No big deal. The good news is we're using the 1 energy Rapidash versus the 2 energy Rapidash, which is ultimately going to give us the ability to use that extra energy to deal with things like Sabrina and just keep us a turn up. Because if we use the 2-turn Rapidash, sometimes waiting that extra turn to get that second energy, even though it could do more damage, could cost us the game. This deck needs to be fast and aggressive, right, to compete with the other things that we're seeing in the metagame. We'll go ahead here and we'll go and hit a retreat into Rapidash. And then we'll play Blaine, boost our damage, kill that Heatran, and burn the energy that he placed there. So right now our opponent is down 2 energy due to placing 1 on Heatran and using 1 to retreat on Charmander earlier. So we kind of already have the lead and we have the tempo on our side. I also now have the Ninetales, so I can start working on building on that in the back with our excess energy that we're going to have here. And remember that for our opponent to win, they're going to have to kill 3 Pokemon. For us to win, we might just need to try to kill Charmander. It depends. Okay, it looks like he Iona'd us. Gives us Cape. Obviously not ideal, but that's okay. We can work around it. Looks like he doesn't have Charizard, so that's really good news. And we can hit him with a Sabrina here, which is also super good, and start dealing damage to that immediately. I'm a little hesitant, but yeah, actually we'll hit the Sabrina here. I think it's the play, and apply early damage, because if that thing does come out as a big Charizard, it's something we're going to want to deal with. Let's hope he doesn't have X speed or Leaf, and I'll be able to kill this Charmeleon next turn by rotating out of Rapidash into Ninetales and swinging for 90. He does have the Charizard, which is exactly what I was worried about. Looks like he's going to go ahead and Stoke. And yeah, definitely a different deck, but I like seeing the new Charizard used here. I kind of see the vision, and it's pretty interesting. Okay, so next turn he's going to be able to swing for the big damage here, which will absolutely one-shot our Rapidash. We're just going to stay like this and hit him for another 40. If we're lucky, we can draw Blaine and win the game. But if not, it might take a little bit of extra work. Actually, we won't even need Blaine because we have Rocky Helm. So if Charizard does swing into our Rapidash with Rocky Helm, he'll go down to 80. We can kill it with Ninetales. Let's just see what he does. Oh, and he plays an Arceus. Interesting. Okay, I kind of like what he's brewing here. It could be good. Maybe I just got the tempo and the lead on him. Retreats into the Heatran. Okay, okay. Hits for 40. Very solid, very solid. He did use 3 energy to retreat that Charizard. So I think we're still in a really good position right now. Let's go ahead and Professors, see what we can get. Another Professor's not bad. And a Cyrus. Oh, yeah, it was... We were going to put in big damage there and apply a ton of pressure to that Charizard. We're going to make sure that thing is gone. So we take the win. Let's go. And for our 5th and final deck, we are again going to utilize Magnezone in the Hit Zone lineup. This one combines Hitmonlee, Sudowoodo, Marshadow with the entire Magnemite, Magnezone lineup. We also use 2 X-Speeds, 2 Pokeballs, 1 Cape, 2 Professors, 2 Cyrus, and 1 Iona. The reason we use 2 Cyrus in a deck like this is because we are using Hitmonlee to hit Pokemon on their bench, giving us the ability to yank those out into the front. So rather than one Sabrina, 1 Cyrus, we run 2 Cyrus. But if you only have 1 Sabrina and 1 Cyrus, you can do that as well. All right, going second. We got Hitmonlee, Magneton, and Magnemite to start. This is an extremely good hand. We're going to go ahead and... Ooh, he's not playing right away. We'll lead into Hitmonlee because we're going to let Magnemite evolve in the back line anyway. Go ahead and start. Let's see. Okay, he's got Pikachu EX to the front, which is kind of bad news for us. It's something I'd like to have in the back line. If he's wise, he'll not play a basic Pokemon on the bench, and he'll just focus on evolving Pikachu in the front line. That's exactly what he's going to do. We know that he drew a card because he played a Pokeball. What we could also do here is we could Iona and mess him up a little bit, but that's a risk on my end. So that's something we have to think about. Now, Stretch Kick will be useless here. So what we could do is we could go into our Magnemite. If we put an energy on Magnemite now, next turn, we'll be able to Volt Charge and put another energy, which won't allow us to swing quite yet, which puts us at a little bit of a risk. We'd only hit for 10 too, which isn't much. So we'll go ahead and Professors here and see what other options we can gather up. Cape and Cyrus. Cards that aren't really going to do too much for us right now. We'll go ahead and put an energy on Magnemite. That's definitely the play here, and we'll just end turn. Even if that Pikachu builds up and uses its entire 3 turns worth of energy to bombard our Hitmonlee, we'll still be like in a decent position. So it's not something we really need to worry about. We can kind of play a mind game with our opponent here and go, hey, yeah, if you want to spend 3 turns just to kill my Hitmonlee, that's fine. Which he realizes is probably not going to be the play. So he's going to go ahead and move Pachirisu to the front and start building energy on Pikachu. And that's going to allow me to Stretch Kick to the back line on his Pikachu. It did, however, playing Pikachu at first, save him 30 HP on that. Very solid, very solid. Okay, we get another Magnezone in hand. Go ahead and Volt Charge. It's very tempting to Iona here. We're going to preemptively cape our Magnezone here. Let's see, what has he played so far? 1 Pokeball, 1 X Speed. Maybe I don't want to Iona quite yet. Actually, we will Iona. We'll Iona now, because I might Cyrus that Pikachu next turn, depending on the situation. Oh, wait, no. The Iona berries are Cyrus. What am I thinking? That's okay, though. We got Magnezone, which is really what I'm seeking here. We can go ahead and Pokeball, either get another Hitmonlee. Oh, we can get Marshadow in place. This is actually really good. And we'll go ahead and kick Pikachu. Now, we only run a 1 of Marshadow because, honestly, that's all you need. And we'll start building energy on him starting next turn so that we're ready for Pikachu. Pikachu's now at 90, so Marshadow can do a ton of damage to him. And due to the weakness matchup, it will one-shot it. The Iona did give our opponent a Magnemite, so that's good for them. Oh, he's rotating into the Pikachu now. Why? Interesting choice from our opponent, because now Pikachu's cooked. That was like quite a gamble on our opponent's side, because again, if I have Magnezone, Pikachu dies here, and our opponent's going to be in like a really bad position. So what we're going to do here is we're going to, Volt Charge, hit a retreat into Magneton. Go ahead, evolve to Magnezone. Yeah, that's going to seal the deal. I had a feeling our opponent was going to quit there. Bringing the Pikachu to the front was quite a ballsy move. Don't think that was the right play, but we take the win. Anyways, I hope you guys appreciate this type of content. If you do, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.